Welcome back to the Blue Chip Breakdown, Vols fans. I'm your host, Bull, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at the Tennessee versus Kentucky game from a film perspective and take a look at just a few plays that, I liked, some things that I didn't love, and what this team needs to do moving forward to have a chance to win out. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so this is the first play that I want to take a look at. So this is Dante Thornton on a quick screen. It's going to come up right here. Catch a screen pass right here. Squirrel White is right here blocking for him. He's going to end up blocking a linebacker right here. But I really like this play because, I was really hard on Dante coming into this game and said that we had to try to get him going. And, I kind of said that I didn't even want to see him anymore and hope that he proved me wrong. In this game, he did. Great job by the coaching staff of, making a really, really easy play for him early on in this game just to get him going. Right here. First thing that you love about this is that the ball is a little bit low. He catches it with his hands, and he's got a little bit of room here to run and make a play. So Squirrel White kind of gets blown up right there on that block, but I really like that Dante lowers his shoulder and fights for those extra yards. Something that's small and that's simple, obviously, as we saw throughout this game, it really paid off for Dante, and we're going to need him a lot moving forward. We're going to have another clip of him throughout this film. All right, now this one right here, I absolutely love it because offensive line does a great job blocking, right? We've got everyone blocking down here, and then we're going to have Ollie Lane come over and get the ceiling block that kind of takes this play to the house. This is also a read option. Pay attention to Joe Milton's going to kind of come out here. He's not going to come out hard, but he's going to come out enough to make this end that gets up the field hesitate just a second. And all of those things work beautifully together. We talked a whole lot about Joe Milton having to use his legs more to open up more things for this offense. This is something that a lot of people did not notice in this play, or probably didn't notice in this play. Let's go ahead and let it roll. Everyone's doing a good job getting their down blocks, and now, like we talked about, Ollie Lane's going to come over here and get this block to create this crease in this lane, and we'll see it from a different angle, and you'll see this how big that hole actually is. You saw the way that these two guys, especially this one right here, kind of got held up by Joe Milton's action moving out here, and it was just enough. It's a game of inches for, look at all this space. We'll see it again from another angle for Jalen Wright to be able to get through that hole. And one of the things that I really love about this play is that Jalen Wright does a great job of making people miss in the open field. We've talked a lot about him, him and these other running backs being able to hit these home runs and some of these running plays, and we see it right there. Absolutely love it. Now we're seeing it here. Look at how big this hole is. Got Jalen Wright one-on-one with what I think is a safety. The safety really doesn't want to come up and tackle him. Jalen Wright is deceptively big. He's bigger than he kind of looks, especially because we've got a big offensive line. He's about 6 feet tall, 215, 220 pounds, and he can move. So boom, foot in the dirt, gets up the field. It's not the best move in the entire world, but he does a good job of running through this tackle, keeps his legs up, keeps his feet up, and keeps moving towards that end zone. So I absolutely love that play. Several great plays in our running game, throughout this season, but in this game specifically, I think that we did a great job of being physically better than Kentucky the entire night. All right, so on this play here, this is going to be a situation where Joe Milton is looking to pass. He's going to kind of roll out here, and he doesn't like anything that he sees down the football field, but he does a great job of kind of just stringing this play out, stringing it out. It's 3rd and 4, and then he finally comes on ahead and rushes for this first down. Again, we need for Joe Milton to continue to do this, and I absolutely love that he's gotten a lot more confidence in doing it. What's going to end up happening here, though, is backside John Campbell is going to get caught for a hold on this guy right here. And, I would much rather Campbell hold instead of letting our starting quarterback take a free shot from a pass rusher. So not too mad at him for that. Obviously, it's something that we do need to clean up moving forward for sure. But I'm not super angry at him for that. Let's protect our players at all costs. Sometimes the refs will throw it, sometimes they won't. But good job right here by Joe Milton. You see him kind of falling forward for those extra yards. And, we've got some other people getting in on this play. And, I absolutely love this. Again, this is something that our offense is really going to need down this stretch. All right, so this play right here, this is a play action. So we talked about this coming into this game, and I'm not going to go too far into this. I'm just going to kind of highlight a couple of things really quickly because I'm going to speak more about this coverage that we played throughout this game at the end of this film breakdown. But basically what happens here is they're going to go play action. We've got 6 people blocking, okay? This guy right here comes up and kind of blocks Danico Slaughter. This guy comes out late on a deep crossing route, and he ends up wide open. Now, hard for me to identify exactly what this coverage is We're going to see T-Mac kind of latch on to his route here a little bit late. You're going to kind of see him try to play catch up here. And then whenever it's all said and done, we've got 4 or 5 guys around this wide receiver. So let's let this thing play. Good job right here, okay, by Elijah Herring, getting a bump on that guy, slowing him down just a taste. T-Mac's eyes are not in the correct place, I would have to assume, by the way he comes in and tries to catch up late. Again, it's hard to tell what this coverage is. So I just think that there was a couple of busts in this one. Okay, so looks like everything is pretty much covered up. This is the running back coming out of the backfield. He didn't stay in to block, and we kind of had him covered up until that football was thrown. Got a guy right here, and those are the only 3 people that went out on routes for this play. And you see here, we've got 4 guys surrounding this wide receiver or tight end. This was a really good pass, and this was a well-designed play by their offense. All right, so something else that I don't absolutely love from this defense is when we do things like dropping our defensive ends into pass coverage. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I guess I can understand doing it up against a quarterback that has only been completing 54 to 55% of his passes this season. What we're going to have here is pressure coming from here, right? All these guys are coming, so we're bringing pressure from the field side, from the quarterback's strong side, right, from his right side. And, behind it, it looks like this might be a cover 3. So this wide receiver is going to run this cornerback off. This tight end is going to come out and run an out route. This is a chair combination. It's a chair route combination. And this guy that comes out here is going to make the catch, and this is who Roman Harrison is guarding. So he does a good job of maintaining his outside leverage to start this off. We'll see it from a different angle. He's got help to the inside here. Okay, so he did a good job to start off. Let's go ahead and let it play. So you can see right here, he was outside leverage. The problem is he disengages right here, right? I'm not sure if he's supposed to be a man or if this is zone, but it's a weird combination of both. We've got to do a better job of coaching these guys up on how to play pass coverage if we're going to be dropping them back. This is, again, starts off well. And again, our pass rush is just kind of like non-existent. We bring, 5 people, and we just don't get there. I think that we were expecting for it to get there. We've got to do a better job there. These things work hand in hand, pass coverage and pass rush. And, Roman Harrison just doesn't do a good job of staying on his guy. We'll sit again from a different angle. All right, so right here, we've got Roman Harrison. We're going to see, again, he's doing a great job. Outside leverage. He's outside of that tight end that's running that route. He's got help to the inside here, so that was fine. But what he has to do is he has to stay latched on to this guy. If he stays latched on right here, now we're talking about a completely different situation where Leary, maybe tries to run for the first down here. Maybe he throws it out of bounds. I don't know, maybe pick somebody else. But this easier pass that's right in the quarterback's view that you see that he's kind of staring it down anyway would have been taken away. So just small things, small things that we do have to get cleaned up in this game. And usually we are really good at doing these types of things because our pass rush does get there. So not quite sure exactly what happened in this game. I think that the biggest emphasis was to slow down Ray Davis, but we're going to get more into that a little bit later. All right, so this is something else that I don't absolutely love. What we're going to have right here is, looks like this is cover 2, okay? But we're showing man, right? So we're showing that looks like we've got, everyone kind of covered up here. Maybe he could have been a spy guy. It looks like we're playing man, but it actually ends up being cover 2. This is Arion Carter. He's showing pressure from this side. He's going to drop back into coverage right here. The issue is Elijah Herring is coming from this side, blitzing, and Arion Carter, as a true freshman, just has to know that, hey, this guy's blitzing, so the hole is going to be a little bit further to the middle of the football field. And Arion just doesn't do a great job of getting to that spot. Let's watch this thing play out. Again, we're bringing pressure. It doesn't get home. This is a 3-step drop. The ball is getting out of the quarterback's hands quickly, but everything else is pretty much covered up, right? So we see everywhere else things are covered up, okay? Covered up here, covered up here. And Arion actually has a lot more help to this side. So he really, you've got to get to this spot here, okay? And make this quarterback decide on, hey, am I going to make this throw or not? And then, you can make a much easier tackle because you're standing right here if he does make that catch. Or at least, maybe you can make a play on that football. Now, Arion also doesn't do a good job with his angle here. He kind of attacks the upfield shoulder of this running back or, wide receiver, whatever. Should have kind of came more to the inside of him, okay? And don't let him have that cutback lane. And we're going to see that since he does attack the outside, he gets jab stepped and, he's out of position. I think that Arion needs to lose a little bit of weight, or he needs to be able to move better with the weight that he's gained. Looked a lot faster on his high school film. And, that's just something that's going to come with time. So again, overall, that defensive coverage looked good. Didn't get a whole lot of pressure. It was a quicker pass, but sometimes whenever we've got some of these younger guys coming in, we need for them to be in the correct positions. It doesn't take a whole lot for an offense to be able to find those weak spots in our defense and turn it into a big play. All right, so this is another one on defense. What we have right here is Danico Slaughter is in man-to-man coverage, and he actually does a pretty decent job. Where he messed up at in coverage was at the line of scrimmage. So I love the fact that he's been physical here. He's slowing this route down as much as possible. But, not to get too technical, but he's got to do a better job of staying on top of this route just a little bit more and kind of cutting it off. But, for the most part, it's not bad. This is a one-high look, so he does have help over the top, which is probably part of the reason that he's playing a little bit more of an inside shade and not taking away this deeper pass. Leary actually does a really good job of looking that safety off, so he's going to look to that side first, and then he's going to come right back to where he knew he was coming the entire time. This is really just a good pass and a good catch. I mean, it's not terrible coverage. It's really, really not. I mean, Slaughter is right there in phase, and, he does a pretty good job of trying to make a play on that football, but see right here is where he's beat. Lets this wide receiver kind of get on top of him. Looks like he's kind of to the side of him, but once he's to the side of him, he's pretty much already on top. That's how it works. This guy's going full speed, and Slaughter is starting, he's starting backwards. So it's not as easy as it looks, but he does a good job of fighting. You see that hand fight. Ball is up, his hand, or Slaughter's hand gets up just a little bit late, but he does try to fight for that football. It's not terrible. He hasn't been starting much for us this season, and it's going to be a situation where he's going to get better as he continues to get more live game reps. And I'm not too worried about him, but obviously we do miss Haddon, so I just kind of wanted to point that out. Got to do a better job. All right, now this is another one. I'm not going to spend too much time on it right now because I will touch on it later, so just keep this in y'all's mind. This is going to be cover 3. We played a whole lot of this in this game, and cover 3 is what you play whenever your primary objective is to stop the run game and to shut down any deep passes, okay? So we're able to bring people up into the box and be a little bit more run heavy, and at the same time, we're able to kind of cut off all the deep passes back here. So what ends up happening though throughout this game is Kentucky just pretty much takes what we're giving them. So it's going to be a comeback route right here. This slot guy is going to occupy T-Mac, who's playing in this zone to this area. So once this guy comes in here, T-Mac now can't flow out to that area, which would be up under this comeback route, and would have been able to stop it. So we've got Gabe Jeudy-Lally in coverage up top. Let's go ahead and let it roll. Gabe Jeudy is playing off, keep in mind he's playing a deep zone. He's in a deep third. It's just a comeback route, okay? He has to do his job first. His job was to protect for the deep passes, and you see he's doing a good job of that. Now, Gabe is an older guy. Sometimes you might say, well, maybe you can come up a little bit harder on these plays just from reading what these route combinations are, okay? I would like to see a little bit more of that, but it's okay. He's doing what he's coached to do, and that's really all that you can ask for out of him. And he does come up and, pretty much escort this wide receiver out of bounds. But, this is a big part of the reason that Kentucky's passing numbers look so great up against our defense was because we played off and we just did not get home in our pass rush. All right, now you can also see it from this angle. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of crying about the refs in this game, but this is James Pearson. He's going to get tackled by this tackle right here, okay? He's going to get tackled, and I believe Roman Harrison coming off of the edge is going to get held up as well. So pay attention right here, okay? This is not quite holding yet, but it is going to come to a point where this guy comes down to his knees and he's going to kind of wrap. I think that's Roman Harrison up. Yeah, he kind of, tries to trip him. Maybe you could call that tripping. But right here, this is a blatant hold. I mean, he's getting bull rushed. This tackle is getting bull rushed, and he's going to hold on to James Pearson, bring him to the ground with him. That's holding. And you also see we've got another guy here. So they're dedicating at least double teams to James Pearce. Somebody else on this football team has got to get home. Pretty much talking about you, Roman Harrison. Seems to always be just a step or two too late. We've got to get him maybe some different pass rush moves and just get into the quarterback a little bit faster on passing situations. All right, so now this is another pass play. This is for a touchdown by Kentucky, okay? What we have right here is these two wide receivers are going to set up a, pick play. They're going to come up in here and just try to shut down or, try to create this wall right here. And this wide receiver is going to run a wheel route to the outside. We've got T-Mac is going to be manned up on him. And, this is just tough. This is, again, this is another well-designed play by Kentucky. And, I think that we played it okay. We didn't play it terribly. Obviously, T-Mac is in a good position here. He can't come up too far and too fast on this. He's kind of got to stay where he's at. He does kind of get over a little bit late. We'll see. Again, look at this. There's really not a whole lot of pass rush. Okay, so that is a little bit concerning. Passes out, that's a 3-step drop. So that, again, that's part of the reason that there was no pass rush there, because they're getting the ball out of their hands quickly. And right here, T-Mac is there to make a play on the ball. It's just a step too late. We'll see it again from a different angle. All right, so this is T-Mac right here. See, he's working to get over here. The ball is already being thrown. And as soon as he catches up, you see the ball is already coming. So that's really, really tough. I mean, you have to try to come play this guy first. If you're playing man coverage, you've got to keep your eyes on the man. You can't be looking in the backfield. Now, if he was, he maybe could have made a play on this football from where he came from. But, that's nitpicking. And, he still tries to play through that football. So, again, I don't absolutely hate that coverage. We weren't just getting beat like we stole something there. That's just a very well-designed play by Kentucky, and they executed well. All right, so we're going to see another read option, okay? Love this from this offense. Running backs coming up in here. Joe Milton is going to pause on this handoff. He's reading this end. If this end comes up the field, then Joe Milton hands his football off. If the end crashes down on the run, then Joe Milton keeps the ball and works to the outside with the lead blocker right here in Chaz Nimrod. Love this play. Again, it puts a lot of stress on the defense. Let's watch right here. Boom. Okay, we see end crashes in, and look at all the space that Joe Milton has to run. We have to continue to run these plays as often as possible. Joe Milton did a great job of running the football in this game. Good job right here, blocking two by Chaz Nimrod. And, I love to see those types of plays. Need to see more of it throughout this season. All right, we just talked about Chaz Nimrod. He's down at the bottom of the screen. He's going to be rewarded for his blocking efforts with a touchdown. So he is one-on-one at the bottom of the screen. He's just going to run a straight go route, okay? And Joe Milton does a really good job of kind of like looking it off on play action and then being able to deliver a very catchable ball. Beautiful pass to Chaz Nimrod. Let's go ahead and let it roll. Boom. See, looks it off just for just a quick clip. And Chaz just absolutely burnt this cornerback. The cornerback tries to make it look like, he got hurt or something or fell down. It looks like he just kind of dove to try to save face just a little bit. All right, so we can see it again right here. What we just missed is a little bit of a stem at the line of scrimmage by Chaz Nimrod. Great job. And then fighting to the outside, stemming on top. And then that's when this cornerback's going to kind of like dive over his own feet. But this is obviously very, very encouraging by Chaz Nimrod. We talk about, we're going to need more playmakers on the outside. And Chaz Nimrod's a guy that I am expecting some big things from. And, it feels good to see these guys seeming to pick it up, okay? It feels like we are starting to gel at the correct time. So love that out of Joe Milton. Love that by Coach Heupel and Coach Halsey as a play call. And love Chaz Nimrod getting some confidence on a nice touchdown play. All right, so I'm going to try to be quick here again. What we have right here is cover two, okay? So this is Turnage. His area is in the flats, all right? And we've got a safety playing over the top. His area is up here. Just pretty much pay attention to that and maybe look at this pass rush, okay? Because there really was not enough. What's going to happen here is this wide receiver is going to run a wheel route right behind Turnage here, okay? So he kind of comes up for just a second, but he doesn't sink enough because we're going to have a guy that comes over in a drag. And that really shouldn't occupy Turnage as much as it did. These are just little things. It's very easy coaching points, okay? We're going to see this in film for sure. So, he's doing his job, right? He's reading. He sees someone coming into his zone, and he's going to play off of that. Also, it wasn't a great job by the safety, who I think was Tank. He kind of got over here late. And so, they just hit the soft spot in that zone. Again, not going to harp on it too much. Going to talk more about these things at the end of this video. All right, so I absolutely love this by the defense. This kind of goes along with what I'm going to talk about at the end of this video. And that is, we had a game plan, right? And we're executing it. So we talked a whole lot about the double passes, trick plays, things like that. That's what this is supposed to be. This guy right here is going to come back, catch the ball on a lateral, and he's supposed to try to throw it. But we're going to do a great job covering everything up down the field so he has nowhere to throw this football. So again, this is just a sign of we knew what the game plan was. We're doing a great job of executing it, and we're not being fooled. So absolutely love that type of discipline out of this team. And, I'm super proud of them for that. You see it again from this angle. And I mean, look, we've got people all over him, people in front and behind him. We've got a guy, that's trying to come out late. He's being guarded. So beautiful job by everybody. All right, so some more good stuff by this offense. We're going to have a play where seems like, we kind of get a little bit of pressure here, and Joe Milton kind of flows out again and keeps his eyes down the field. Now, this is that throw to Ramel Keaton, and, he kind of holds on to the ball here. We do have a guy open, probably could have made that pass, but it seems like once this pressure kind of seeped in, that is as soon as Jacob Warren right here does come open. So he comes open just a little bit too late, but he was open late, and, Joe Milton is just deciding to be a playmaker and extends this play, and it ends up paying off for us, okay? A lot of people will speculate on if that was a catch or not. That's not up to us to speculate that. It was a very well thrown ball. I mean, he threw this very accurately, throws it low into the outside in a place where only Keaton could have made that catch. So love the accuracy by Joe Milton on the run under pressure, making plays. Again, you have to like the buildup of what this team is turning into. Seems like we're finding ways to win in all facets, and it's all starting to come together at the correct time. All right, so we're going to show another one with Joe Milton just extending the play with his legs. And we've got Dante Thornton. I believe this may be him right here. He's going to run a little bit of a comeback, and then we've got a comeback right here too. They kind of cross some. But, you know, Joe Milton does a good job of kind of extending this play, and then Dante Thornton does a good job of kind of getting out his spot on a scramble drill and getting open, and this is a very well-thrown pass. Again, these are the things that we're going to need in tough games down this stretch, okay? We're going to need that. So, look, you see right here, Dante's he's on a comeback. He's a little bit open, but you see this is a player on defense that is in the passing lane, and Joe Milton does a good job of kind of coming up to this line of scrimmage some more, getting this guy to bite up some more, and then there's a nice passing lane right here. This is a really well-thrown ball by Joe. We'll see it again from a different angle. Good job by Dante making a catch, okay? He's getting some confidence, and, you know, I think that as he continues to get even more confidence, those are going to be 6 points, you know? Those are going to be 6 points. So seeing it again from this angle, all right? Flows out of that pocket. Watch this. He's kind of directing the traffic here. You know, it's telling Dante, come over here, come over here. And now you see how open this passing lane is. But watch how he has to place this football. Look at how far he has to throw this. He's moving to his right, and he's kind of throwing back to his left. This is not an easy pass, guys. These are the types of things that NFL scouts are going to be drooling over with Joe Milton. So keep on balling, young man, and you definitely will be high up on teams' draft boards. All right, so now this is a situation where it was not great by Joe Milton, okay? This is a 3rd and 5 situation, and Joe Milton's going to get some pressure, okay? He's going to get pressure, but he could have found a guy open right here, okay? So he does have a guy that comes open relatively early right here, and problem is Joe Milton's just kind of looking to this side of the football field. He's got to do a much better job of identifying what the coverage is on defense, where the pressure is coming from, and then having a better idea of who's going to be open. And this is something that I don't really like about Joe Milton. He does have a tendency to kind of pre-snap look towards his favorite guys, okay? So he keeps looking over here. I think that's what he wanted there. He wanted that one, but I mean, it's kind of there. If you're going to throw it, Joe, then just go ahead and throw it. It is 3rd and 5, but pull that trigger, okay? Just make that throw if you're going to make it. Because right here, you know, if you say, okay, I'm not going to make this throw, I'm going to look over here, there is a guy open. And we could have got this first down. I mean, he's wide open. At this point, he's already getting sacked, but this is just, you know, a couple of things that Joe Milton does need to clean up. You know, it's not a huge deal, but it's something that we are going to need better out of him moving forward. All right, so now we're getting into crunch time. Okay, you see the score 26-24. We're only up by 2 in the 4th quarter. This is a little shuttle pass that we keep on trying to run in this offense, and I do get it. You know, I mean, it can work, but doesn't seem like it has been working very much here lately, so might need to kind of save that for maybe 2 to 3 weeks out or something like that. Let's not run it every single game because it's kind of getting stuffed. But what I love about this is that in crunch time, we see Dylan Sampson making a big play here. Now you see this play is pretty much covered up, and Joe Milton taking some hits low. That's not, I mean, that probably should have been a penalty. But anyway, he's going to do a great job right here. Dylan Sampson is of making a big play, fighting for those extra yards, and you know, getting his first down on 2nd and 10 on what really should have been a play that was blown up in the backfield. Now, not going to go through every single one of these plays, but Sampson was our closer in this game, okay? He played a phenomenal game, did a great job of closing it out for this team. Big play after big play after big play, and he helped us to seal up this victory. All right, so as you can see, this team is kind of starting to pick up the slack, you know, from where maybe it was lacking at in some previous games. It seems like early on the defense was pretty much carrying this football team. Running game has been strong throughout the entire season. I didn't put a whole lot of running clips in that film, but the offensive line did a phenomenal job of creating some lanes and holes for the running backs to be able to get through. And I think that we're physically dominant, you know, in that category in this game. So I absolutely love that. Now, what I kept on saying that I would get to at the end of this film, and, you know, that's kind of where we're at now, is our defense. And part of the reason that it seems like Leary was able to throw for so many yards. So I touched on this briefly, but basically what we were doing is pretty much forcing Leary to beat us passing the football. We did a whole lot of coverages that are run stopping coverages. Our defense pretty much was just king on Ray Davis. And we did a great job of that, okay? This seems like a game that maybe Coach Hype will probably talk to Coach Banks and said, hey, you know, let's just not let number one beat us. And we did a great job with that. So I think that moving forward, Coach Hype was probably going to open it up a little bit more for this defense, say, hey, you know, y'all were able to kind of sacrifice, you know, some passing yards in this game. Now it's time for y'all to go hunt. You know, it's time for y'all to dial it up back how y'all normally do. Not expecting that this week up against UConn, but next week up against Mizzou, expect us to get back to our regular form of the way that we get after the passer and the way that we play better in coverage. Now, there are some things that are a little bit concerning. I do think that we probably could have got home more than we did only once in this game. And I don't really care what the scheme is. If your pass rush is as good as it's supposed to be, if it's 4 sacks per game, we should still be getting close to that marker, right? It doesn't really matter what the other team is doing. Now, I do think that Kentucky had a great game plan for Tennessee stunts and for our blitz packages, things like that. So again, it's time to kind of mix that up just a taste. Get some fresh plays in there, you know, do something just a little bit differently. It's only so much that you can do on defense, but we are gonna have to find ways to get consistent pressure on the quarterback, or, you know, our secondary is gonna be hung out to dry. You cannot cover forever. I think that it worked hand in hand in this game, though. Again, people were open pretty early on in their routes. You know, it was a whole lot of 3-step drops. Quarterback's getting the football out of his hands early, so the pass rush doesn't really have time to get there. So, you know, again, it works hand in hand. People were open early. So, you know, we've got to do a better job of playing tighter coverage and giving our pass rush more of an opportunity to get to the quarterback. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing more of throughout our, you know, pretty much final 2 tough game stretch. And I fully think that Tennessee can win out. You know, I think we've got a really good chance to be able to do that. Also wanted to just thank everybody who has watched this channel, who, you know, has commented, you know, who has really just been a part of this channel. Thank y'all so much. We just started this thing right before Christmas of last year, and we're coming up on 3,000 subs. So, you know, that is really huge for us. And, you know, this is something that we would love to be able to do full time. So for those of you who have been sharing it on different social media platforms and things like that, that's been very, very beneficial to us. Please continue to do so. We cannot get there without y'all's support. So please continue to do that. And, you know, as always, remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you have not already. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.